This is what black horror is. It is them living out revenge porn fantasies. So they demonize white people and say, you are villains in our lives, and we are going to literally cast you as a villain in a horror movie. Then we're going to kill you. And then we're going to say, oh no, we weren't killing you, white people. We were killing the villains in our horror movie. Oh, right, a horror movie you made intentionally so that you could kill white people and get off on killing white people. You And by the way, you kill white people about 20 times more than we kill you. And you kill black people about 1,000,000 times more than we kill black people. You kill black people more than the Klan could ever dream of killing black people, or did. The Klan killed a few thousand in the entirety of their lives, and even that number is in question. And if you want to get super advanced, a lot of the people that died deserved to die.
So, Inglourious Basterds was revenge porn against the Nazis? There's a lot to unpack here, but first and foremost, this guy is an idiot and is being deeply disingenuous, and I will explain exactly why in great detail. First of all, I find it really weird how he associates all white people with the KKK, which is both intellectually dishonest and factually wrong in the context of the film. In that final scene, Smoke does not ride into a white town and indiscriminately kill everyone. He kills KKK members, men who, if you recall, showed up with the explicit intention of slaughtering a group of black people. So, the framing that innocent white men were murdered for no reason is absurd. These were Klansmen. The outrage on their behalf is pretty telling. What he's accusing the movie of doing actually happened in real life, but to black people. In 1921 in Tulsa, a bunch of white supremacists went into a district and spent 2 days murdering women, men, and children for absolutely no reason. Every act of violence directed at white characters in this film was directed specifically at Klan members, not random white people, which raises an uncomfortable question. Why is this man so upset about the KKK being killed? The Klan committed unspeakable atrocities against black people. That is not a matter of opinion, it is historical fact. He even casually remarks that many of the people murdered by the KKK deserved to die, which is a morally reprehensible statement. The KKK lynched thousands of innocent black men, women, and children. Emmett Till was 14 years old when he was brutally murdered in Mississippi for allegedly whistling at a white woman. Mary Turner was 8 months pregnant when a mob killed her after she spoke out about her husband's lynching. I suggest you guys look up Mary Turner because I can't even say the things they did to her on YouTube. I also want to point out that more black characters die in Sinners than white ones. Only the Klan members are killed, while every black person trapped in the juke joint is turned into a vampire and ultimately dies when Remick is killed. Not that any of this should matter, by the way. What happened to judging movies based on story, acting, and cinematography? Now people are counting how many white people died versus how many black people died.
Oh, what a loser!
And the irony of his complaint is baffling when you consider the long history of Hollywood casting black, brown, and Asian characters as villains or disposable figures. In many films in the 90s and 80s, Asian men were routinely portrayed as sinister criminals. Black men were almost always the gang member, the drug dealer, or the first to die. And brown and Latino characters were regularly reduced to cartel villains or illegal immigrants. For decades, this was simply accepted as normal filmmaking. But the moment a white character, specifically a KKK member, is portrayed as a villain, suddenly it is an ideological attack on an entire race that makes people like this bitch and moan. He also claims that in black horror, the real horror is always white people.
What?
Well, in the context of Sinners, which is set in 1930s Mississippi during the Jim Crow era, that is simply historically accurate. Black people were living under a reign of terror. The KKK was actively abducting and lynching black Americans. Segregation was enforced by law and violence. Finding a burning cross on your lawn, being accused of looking at a white woman the wrong way, these were genuine daily horrors. The vampires in Sinners are almost a metaphor. The real monsters were already there. Movie aside, even without actual vampires, it was scary enough for black people. Whether you like it or not, the Klan, which was a whites-only members club, they were villains. They were literal monsters to black people. And if you truly want to understand how brain-dead this take is, go watch Inglourious Basterds, a film where Nazis are graphically massacred, and ask yourself whether you left the cinema thinking, that was revenge porn against Germans. If your answer is no, then you have already invalidated this man's entire argument. And before you say, well, Nazism is an ideology and whiteness is an entire race, Exactly. The same way not all Germans were Nazis is the same way not all white people were Klansmen, and the film never suggests otherwise. Do you see how dumb and stupid this take is yet? Or should I keep going? To really show how brainless he is, he genuinely thinks Remick was a villain. Remick was not a villain in the typical sense, and he wasn't portrayed as one even in the movie. Remick is a victim of white supremacy himself. An Irishman who lost his culture, his people, and his identity through centuries of discrimination and forced assimilation. His obsession with Sammy's musical gift is not malevolence, it is grief. He simply wants to see his people again. The Irish were historically subjected to severe discrimination, particularly in America, where the "No Irish Need Apply" signs were commonplace in the 19th century. But if you watch a movie with the sole purpose of finding reasons to hate and be offended by, you miss the deeper meaning of anything. You forfeit the ability to engage with its themes on a deeper level, and that, ultimately, is this person's greatest failure. He's also an idiot. That was a long-ass intro, but trust me, it's relevant. I want to compare two movies that came out almost at the same time and both had deeper political and racial messages, Sinners and One Battle After Another. If One Battle After Another didn't have Leo's character, a white man who swooped in and took over the protagonist role, these people would have been saying the same things. He was the white anchor in that movie. So, who is a white anchor? This refers to a white central character in a film, typically the protagonist or co-protagonist, who serves as a narrative and emotional entry point for predominantly white audiences. This character functions as a familiar, relatable lens through which the story's themes, often involving race, politics, or social struggle, are experienced and processed. In films dealing with racial or cultural subject matter, the white anchor tends to mediate the story for white viewers, lowering the psychological distance between audience and narrative. Rather than asking white audiences to fully immerse themselves in a black or minority experience on its own terms, the white anchor provides a surrogate, someone who shares the audience's cultural background and whose perspective guides them through an otherwise unfamiliar world. This concept is closely tied to the white savior trope. Though a white anchor doesn't necessarily save anyone, they simply anchor the audience's emotional investment. My argument here is that films featuring a white anchor tend to receive broader institutional validation because they feel more accessible to the predominantly white audiences and voting bodies during award season that remain largely white, older, and male. One Battle After Another gave white audiences a clear entry point through Bob, a flawed, sympathetic white protagonist navigating a racially charged world. There's a long Oscar history of this pattern. Films dealing with black experiences tend to fare better when filtered through a white gaze. The Green Book, Driving Miss Daisy, The Blind Side, among others. Meanwhile, Sinners centered its world entirely around black characters with no such intermediary, bold and culturally authentic, but potentially alienating to still predominantly older and whiter voters. If Sinners had a random white dude in the juke that helped the crew defeat Remick, it definitely would have won more awards. Sure, Mary was in there, but it was hinted at that she was of mixed heritage, so she wasn't enough for them. Sinners is not a film about killing white people. It's a film about black joy, black culture, black music, and black survival in one of the darkest chapters of American history. The KKK were not stand-ins for white people broadly. They were and remain a domestic terrorist organization responsible for the suffering and deaths of thousands of innocent people, including other white people who dared to stand against them. Portraying them as villains is not radical filmmaking, it's simply honest storytelling. My examination in this essay is not really about the film at all. It's about discomfort. The discomfort of seeing a story told entirely on its own terms, from a black perspective without a white anchor to make it more palatable. And perhaps that discomfort is itself the most revealing thing of all. Because if the mere existence of a film that centers black experiences, celebrates black culture, and honestly depicts the violence of white supremacy is enough to provoke this kind of reaction, then Sinners was not just a great horror movie. It was a necessary one, and we need more like it. That's all for today. If you've reached this far, thank you so much for watching till the end. Let me know what you think. Also like, subscribe, and hype the video. And if you're feeling generous, you can leave a super thanks. Thanks again for watching. This video has been in copyright hell for days, and that was the only way to get it out. Anyways, the full uncensored version is on Patreon. I never even wanted to make a Patreon, but I guess I have to. The link will be in bio.